Hello, welcome back to our weekly devotions. I'm Pastor David Schoob at Trinity Lutheran Church in West Bend, Wisconsin. We're continuing to think about what it means to be new and to find new life in this new year. Last week we had a story about Gagi, a woman's grandmother who had to grow into a new person as she let the seeds of the past give way to something new and incredible. During that story, one person remarked about her, "Your grandmother is a light." In this new year, what might it mean for us to be a light in the world? In Matthew's gospel, Jesus said, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under the bushel basket, but on the lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." So what does it mean to let our light shine? In our Christmas candlelight service, we talk about it as showing love and compassion and kindness in the world. It's reflecting the very things that we receive in our walk with Jesus. In children's sermons, my wife often takes a little mirror and she reflects the light of the candles on the altar and reminds the children that the light doesn't spring from within us. We reflect the light of God. We are filled with the light of God. In our Christmas candlelight service, we pass the light around the church from candle to candle, but it all begins at the Christ candle, at the very center of where the light comes from. We cannot shine in the world without Christ first planting the light within us and then lighting that light in us over and over as we allow the light to burn out. The light we show forth is always the light of God's love. Love and forgiveness that comes to us as a gift of God. When we try to shine by ourselves, our light is dim and transitory at best. I read this story once. When Stan's wife was released from the hospital with the encouraging news that the surgery had removed the cancerous tumor, Stan surprised her by saying that he wanted to start attending church with her. There he found a hospitable Christian community and a pastor who taught him about the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Stan was baptized and started on a faith journey. One day while shaving, he looked in the mirror and said, "I am not the man I ought to be. Dear God, I've started this spiritual journey, but I'm still a long way from what I ought to be. Today, let me be more Christ-like in my actions." By the time he said goodbye to his family, Stan was running late to catch his train in the city. He ran as he got to the train platform, and suddenly he felt a bump. His briefcase had hit something. Stan looked back as he ran. There on the train platform, he saw a little girl who was bending down, picking up pieces of a puzzle that were scattered everywhere. He shouted over his shoulder, "Sorry, little girl, I'm sorry I bumped you." And then he stopped running, turned around, and quietly walked back to the little girl. "Sorry," he repeated, and bending down on one knee on the platform, he started to help her pick up the pieces. "I was in too much of a hurry. I didn't see you." The all aboard call was heard, but Stan kept working on the scattered pieces. The train pulled away from the station. When Stan and the little girl finished their job of getting all the pieces back in the box, he said, "There, we got them all." As he turned to walk away, the little girl called to him, "Mister?" Stan stopped and looked down at her. "Mister," she repeated, "are you Jesus?" What new things are you being called to that would help others see God at work in the world? How are you being called to let your light shine? Think about this week, and let us join together in prayer. Jesus, light of the world, you have allowed us through our baptism, through our entry into your kingdom, to be filled with light, your light. Help us to let our light shine so that others might see the loving, compassionate, and gracious things we do, and give glory to our Father in heaven. Amen. As you enter this new year, what might you be surrounded by the light of God's love, and might you be a part of that love set loose in the world. Have a great week.